I think there's a couple of things in all of this that when I see this, one, I think it's really good that Grant is clearly separating residential from commercial. He's been very
Yes.
clear. This
Good.
greatest opportunity he's talking about is not single family homes, right? It's just the
Right.
setup is not there. Second, I think he's being very clear that it's going to be his greatest opportunity. Again, he is
Yes.
uniquely set up. He has raised it, by all accounts of what I've read, is correctly over $1 billion via his, you know, check writers, if you will. He's never raised from big funds. He's raised over $1 billion. He has a track record of paying, again, if social media posts are accurate. Also, to your point, again, I've listened to a lot of this because I'm really intrigued by this idea. I want to buy the biggest thing also, is where we'll go next, is he's going into these assets. He just did a deal in Chicago where he paid cash, got
He has the
50%.
capital. Yes.
Exactly. He has the cash, and he's like, hey, we will run it with no debt until the debt market figures it out. I will increase the value. And at some point in the future, could be 2, could be 4, could be 6 years, I will go back and, burr it, put some debt on it, and pay everybody back. I'm like,
Yes.
genius,
And that is
right?
how these deals will be done by the really big players.
Yes.
Make no mistake. I mean, if you can buy a deal without debt because you have the capital, whether that's, private investors or even a family office that's helping you fund the deal, when you have the capital, a large percentage, it's about 40 to 50% for most operators of your monthly expense is your debt service. It's your debt
Correct.
payments. And so
Correct.
if you can eliminate that debt service, you can be much more lean. And an average multifamily across the country, regardless of how old it is, runs at about a 42 to 43% expense ratio. So, if you can buy it at 50% of value, you pay cash, you're pocketing 50, 60% of the net income every month, then you can definitely hold
Just
that thing
hold.
and have a really long-term play. The question is the deal good enough for the risks that, people never come back to those areas. So I'm going to pick on San Francisco, right?
Yes.
San
Yep.
Francisco's not looking real good. Homelessness and crime, and people are leaving with abandon, just businesses and shuttering, and people no longer wanting to be downtown for fear of being, robbed and carjacked and mugged, etc. Those kind of cities, to me, while they could appear to be really great opportunities, could take decades to turn around if they
Agreed.
do. And so, Grant is looking at those kind of risks. You have to be very careful about location and your assumptions to make sure that you don't assume it's always going to go back to normal the way that it was. You look at Detroit. Detroit never really went back to normal the way that it was before the auto industry completely crashed. And so, just like anything, I think that if you find opportunities in any market, but especially where a particular asset class is distressed, let's say office. I think everyone would agree office is the most distressed right now.
Yep.
You have to ask yourself, what is a really good deal for me if things never go back to normal? If the new normal for vacancies for office is 30% because of work from home, if that's going to stay forever, then you just have to run your numbers based on 30%. You assume some, maybe tax increases, insurance, and et cetera. And then you say, hey, if the return is good enough based on how I think it's going to operate, worst case, everything else is gravy on top. And then you do the deal.